Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Some of you guys out there filled me in on some fragrance drama, a little bit of a kerfuffle that's going on right now, and it has to do with this. Rasasi Hawas Black. Is it even real? Is this an actual Rasasi fragrance or not? That's the question at hand, because right now on Reddit and other places on the internet, other forums, people are questioning, is it even real? Is this actually Rasasi, or is it a fake Rasasi?
What?
I know, a fake Rasasi. You're like, what? Like a fake clone of a clone company? To be fair, it's not that far-fetched because we have had this before. You remember this? Scoot you over here for a second. This is HALTANE Amber Oud Blue Edition. This right here is Amber Oud Exclusive Blue. You tell me, do you see any similarities there? Here, I'll bring it up for a closer look. There they are. Obviously a little difference in the color between the two, but can't really deny that they are quite similar looking. And this Amber Oud Exclusive Blue wasn't released by HALTANE, so you know, there have been some weird things that have gone on in the past. This one, by the way, is a Bleu de Chanel clone. This one is a LAYTON clone. But we're not talking about those today. No, we're talking about Hawas Black and whether this is actually a Rasasi fragrance and why people think it might not be to begin with. I'll have this one linked in the description in case you want to check it out, but first, let's dive into what set this all off. And again, shout out to you guys that emailed me about this. So the first thing that really kicked this off in a big way was a post made on Reddit, actually a few different Reddit groups. And I'll go ahead and read that to you now. It states, so, long story short, I live in Dubai. Mind you, Rasasi is an Emirati brand, so Dubai stores are controlled directly by Rasasi. I wanted to try and purchase Hawas Black. Here's the crazy part. The shop assistant told me that they're not producing Hawas Black and don't know where the people who are selling it got the bottles from. He told me Rasasi never released it and people are buying it off the internet without knowing that the bottles are fake. So beware, guys. He also told me that the company sent an official email to the stores warning about the product being totally faked. According to the store, which is an official Rasasi store, there hasn't been such a release to begin with. WTF. So as you can see, the guy that made that post says in no uncertain terms, this is fake. This is not from Rasasi. This is something that somebody out there cooked up to basically use the Rasasi Hawas name to sell a ton of bottles and rip everyone off. Because they say multiple times, Rasasi never released it. The company sent an official email company-wide to all the stores warning them that this is fake. So you really can't walk that back, right? I mean, you're saying straight up fake to the max. And I just looked through some of those threads, pulled a few other comments. Somebody says it doesn't exist on the Rasasi website either. Another person says that they hope that it is the case that this is fake because they would love to see the drama unfold with the influencers having to backtrack and explain why they pushed a fake product and the site selling them. LOL. Probably won't happen, but would be fun to see. To which the original poster said, I hope it's the case. Because nothing is funnier than seeing tons of people get ripped off. Oh, it's so funny. Stupid influencers. Which for sure, anytime there's a new big release, you would assume that some people are getting the product for free, other people are paying for the product, but I don't know that it would be like super funny. It's like, oh, look at all those hundreds of people who got ripped off and bought fakes. Hilarious. Or I guess, no, it's the drama, right? The drama would be funny. So when this one was first announced, it was actually JOMASHOP that had the fragrance first. And when I did a video about this when it first, well, it wasn't really announced, just kind of popped up online, which is also where, you know, part of this comes into play that we'll talk about, because that is very kind of shifty when you see a big release just pop up on a discounter like that and there's no real announcement or anything. It's like, oh, that's weird. But anyway, I talked about it saying, you know, it's available on JOMASHOP's website for pre-order, and I actually was getting my bottle through JOMASHOP. But what happened was the perfume box got it earlier, so I bought mine from them, and they shipped it out basically the second that they got their stuff in. So I was lucky in a sense because obviously they know that I have a channel, so when I buy something there, when they get it in, they're like, ooh, get it out, right? So I was probably one of the first people to get mine that placed an order through there, and I just canceled mine through JOMASHOP, which I've actually had to do in the past because sometimes JOMASHOP, as a lot of you will know, they'll post their stuff up and be like ships in 2 to 4 weeks, right? Or like 4 to 6 weeks or however long. It was one of those deals and I wasn't gonna wait. So I was like, hey, just go ahead and cancel this order. I already got it from over here. So that's how it kind of went for me. Posted up on JOMASHOP. I reached out to them, was like, what's the deal with this? Then I let you guys know, placed my order. Ultimately didn't go through with that order because I got it from somewhere else first. And then everybody got it. Fragrance Buy has it, JOMASHOP has it, Perfume Box has it. Most major discounters at this point, I think, have it. But many other people also went on to say there's absolutely nothing about Hawas Black on their website and SNS. Major retailers in the GCC don't have it either. And about Hawas Black not being listed on Rasasi's website, well, if you go to their website, it actually has Hawas Ice as a new arrival. So it's not exactly the most up to date because Hawas Ice came out a year ago at this point. It's not exactly a new arrival. So you can't use that as an argument of, oh, it's definitely fake because it's not on the website, because there are also other Rasasi fragrances that everybody knows that aren't on the website. Another person says, I can confirm the same. Called up Rasasi to check why it's not listed online. They confirmed, saying that they don't have any perfume with this label. So a lot of people getting worked up about this one. And like I said, there is a reason. It just kind of popped up out of nowhere. Shifty things have been happening before in the whole clone sphere. And so that allows this to kind of catch steam. But what I wanted to do is reach out to anyone that I knew personally who might be able to figure out what's actually going on behind the scenes with this. Because you have a couple options there. Option A is that basically a company, I don't know which company, but a company copied Rasasi's Hawas, you know, down to the bottle, packaging, everything, made a clone of essentially Hasavat. That's what this is, Nishane Hasavat, but with a darker twist and ramped up performance. And then duped all the biggest discounters in the US and convinced them somehow that this was a real product, even though it wasn't, and then sold thousands of bottles into the US market. And that this whole time, Rasasi was basically like, huh, all those guys that we usually sell fragrances to are selling something we didn't make with our name on it. Looks like thousands of bottles. I'm okay with it. Because you would think that they would reach out, right? They would reach out to these stores that they have a relationship with and they'd be like, guys, that Hawas Black ain't us, man. That's fake. Don't sell that. Because apparently they're sending emails company-wide, in Dubai anyway, and saying, hey, this is fake. Tell everybody it's fake when they come in. But they're not actually reaching out to the people they're partnered with. They're allowing them to sell thousands of fake bottles with their name on it. So that's option A. Option B is that it's a real Rasasi fragrance, but that it's just not available in Dubai yet. So which one could it be? But that's not good enough. You can't just say, well, you know, I think it's real, therefore it's real, right? That's no better than saying, I think it's fake, therefore it's fake. So here's what I did. I reached out to every discounter that I could see that had this fragrance, and I asked them, where did you get that? This is what I'm seeing online. What can you spill about how you got this? You know, how this came to exist. I also found the US distributor for Rasasi and reached out to them as well. Unfortunately, I don't know anybody at Rasasi. So I don't know, you know, the CEO, I don't know who's in charge. I have no contacts at actual Rasasi. That would have made things a lot easier. I also reached out to iFragrance Official to see if they had any information as well. So I was reaching out basically to anybody that I thought could fill me in, like, where did you get this? Where did it come from? Have you spoken directly with Rasasi yourselves? Do you know for a fact that this came from Rasasi? Like, what's the deal? And I pointed them to these posts and said, hey, can you check this out for me? Because I need to let people know either A, is what happened, it's a fake, and you guys are being duped, you, me, I'm being duped, the fragrance stores are being duped, just a lot of duping going on, or B, something else. Something else. And to my surprise, I actually got answers pretty much right away. I think within an hour, I had received responses from everybody I reached out to. And hopefully nobody at Rasasi gets angry with me for sharing any of this. I'm not gonna go into like crazy detail or anything. Like I said, I know nobody there. Feel free to reach out to me if you wanna like add more information and whatever. But essentially, this fragrance was not supposed to be released yet. This one, as I heard it, is going to be released most likely within the next month or so in the Middle East, but it was released in North America first. not that it was actually supposed to be. And apparently that's where there's a little bit of drama actually within Rasasi about this release. So the distributor, not the US distributor, but one of Rasasi's official distributors, again, not the US one, they sold this into the US market, into those discounters where you can buy it now, earlier than they were supposed to. And so a lot of people at Rasasi, not super duper pleased about that. So that has caused a bit of politics going on within Rasasi, actually, about this release. Now, like I said, it's going to be released overseas, as I've been told, and actually the US distributor did reach out to Rasasi's CEO, like the head of Rasasi, for me, and then copied on their response to me. And their exact words were, Hawas Black is indeed a Rasasi product. It was produced in limited quantity initially for certain focused clientele. So whatever that means. And interestingly enough, what I heard back from 2 separate discounters that are carrying this right now, who didn't know I had reached out to the other one, gave me the exact same story. They got it from the exact same place. Both of them told me that it wasn't supposed to hit the US market yet, which has caused a little bit of anger toward that distributor, and that they're working through that as we speak. I guess, you know, they're taking care of whatever they need to take care of. But both of these stores, completely independently of one another, gave me the exact same story back. And then I heard from the distributor what I just told you. So yeah, just to kind of boil that down really concisely, somebody made a boo-boo releasing this too early to the US market, and it's made some people not so happy about that. So I really doubt that there are company-wide emails being circulated that this is a fake fragrance, when the head of Rasasi themselves has already told the US distributor, no, that's a legitimate product. And it was purchased directly from an official distributor of Rasasi, at least for now. It's just they screwed up the release, essentially. Which, fair play to some of you on those threads. Some of you called it exactly. So some of you kind of have a handle of what's probably going on. Others, not so much. Another funny comment that I saw here, the fact we're at the point where Middle Eastern brands are doing Western exclusives now, potentially, is pretty crazy when you think about it. And then somebody had responded like, it's because of all these influencers. But it's kind of like, what do you expect? You know, if you have a fragrance that a lot of people are going to anticipate and want, you should probably let people know what you think about it, right? Instead of pretending it doesn't exist. And as far as brands doing exclusives, Middle Eastern brands doing exclusives for Western audiences, which is not actually what this was supposed to be. That's just crazy. I do agree, because there's no chance that any Western companies would ever make like an exclusive for a Middle Eastern country or for the Middle Eastern market. Like, Western brands would just not do that. So, I mean, the fact that you would say Middle Eastern brand doing a Western exclusive is crazy. I completely agree. Oh. And finally, one last comment. Another example of people screaming that it's fake without having any understanding of what's actually happening in the world. And yes, in 2024, you should also realize that many employees in a store have the intelligence level of a canary. I think that's the most important thing to pull away from this. You cannot realistically count on any information that you get from a sales associate, whether we're talking on the phone or in a store, because the overwhelming majority of them know less about fragrances and less about the brand that they're selling than you do. When you call customer service, they don't know. They don't really know much of anything. And if you think that Rasasi is contacting every one of their employees as they work through the process of making a new fragrance, and they're like, hey guys, just FYI, we're working on these 55 new fragrances, okay? So this one is 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 this. They're all legit. They're not released yet. They're gonna be released in the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, but they're coming eventually. If you think that's what's going on, you don't understand how this works. With most low-level sales associates, they're gonna be given information about this stuff when it launches in their store. I can't tell you over the years how many times I've gone into a store, whether we're talking a boutique when I've been traveling or just like a Macy's or something, and asked for a new release and then been met with, oh, that doesn't exist. I think you're probably talking about this, because they don't know. Until they get it in hand, and even then they barely know, but until they get it in hand, it may as well just be something in the ether, in the void. It doesn't exist. So don't take something like that, oh, I went into a store and they said it's not real, and then run with it and go like, oh, for sure it is. I was in a store and they said that. They don't know. They don't know. It's like with the new Giorgio Armani stuff. The new Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette, the new Profundo, the new Acqua di Gio Parfum, all that stuff, right? It got moved into new bottles. And I guarantee you, untold numbers of Giorgio Armani reps would tell you it's the exact same fragrance, no changes at all, just a slightly different bottle. But if you smell it side by side, you know darn well it's been changed. But the reps don't know. They don't know anything about this stuff. And so they're just gonna say, nope, it's still the same because the name is still the same. And therefore they're gonna tell you, whether it's the new Stronger With You Intensely, Acqua di Gio, Code, whatever, they're gonna be like, nah, it's the same. You can't run with what they say, present it as fact, and then have everybody get worked up. So there we go, Rasasi Hawas Black. Just wanted to do this to let you guys know what I found out, what I've been told, and to ease the minds of some of you out there who bought this one, who are thinking, oh my God, I bought a fake Rasasi. I bought the Ross Saucy. No, it's real. Love it or hate it, it is an actual Rasasi. All right, guys, that will do it for me. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I will see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.